What's up, everybody? Welcome. Let's take a look at the Oracle earnings, or rather the price action surrounding the earnings. What's up, Stussy? Welcome, and what's up, everybody in here as well, of course. I was actually just looking at Oracle very recently, marked out that all-time high there. Let's see what kind of volatility we can get with this earnings sprint. So first and foremost, this is a very healthy looking chart that has been trading for a very long time. And we're pretty much at all-time highs currently. Let's go to the 5 minute here, extended hours. So we're trading at 123. Let's see again what kind of a volatility spike we get. So just straight off the bat, I'm going to just mark out that level. But if we do head down lower, I'm going to keep an eye on there as well. So I'll mark that out. You never know with these earnings that can drive a lot of volatility both ways. So let's see on a larger time frame what that is, that level. So we have 114.55 and below that 112.91. So anything is possible. This chart would be the most interesting, of course, if it can provide a significant pullback all the way back down here to then go up. But of course, we don't know. So let's take a look here on the 5 minute time frame, how that is going to respond. So it's not just marking out one level here and immediately expecting this to hold and bounce. We'll have to see and address. And so I'm going to keep an eye on for myself. Personally, this chart becomes interesting to me when it basically pulls back below 113. So if I go to the weekly time frame, right, 112.91 is a weekly low from here. I'll put it a little bit lower on the exact level from regular trading hours. All right. And to the upside, let's see if we can get above, let's mark out this level here, 125.55. That's going to be an important one to basically get back above. Should we want to trade back up into all-time highs, so that's 132.77, then we're definitely going to need to flip that level into support again, 125.55. What is up, Angel? What is up, Dick? What is up, everybody? Duco, Derek, Nikki, welcome everyone. Go to the 5 minute here on Oracle. All right, so we're on extended hours. I'm going to be expecting some volatility here. I'm always curious to see how much volume is coming in on this. My volume is just showing gray because it's not interest. So there we go. So above 125.55, let's just see where that closes, right? 125.55 could become an interesting level to retest, but we first need to close a 5 minute above that. But that looks already willing to trend to the all-time high potentially, but it's very risky, of course, to jump into anything here after hours. This is going to be interesting. So you typically see moves like this, one or two big 5 minute candlesticks. And if we're going to get above 132.77, things might get really spicy. Then we're breaking into new all-time highs for this. So that appears to be at least a nice initial reaction. However, you do really want to be careful with this, because this can just drop down as quick as it just pumped. And then the moment it gets below where this started from, it probably then continues the other direction. So we want to be careful. We want to see at the very least how a couple of these 5 minute candlesticks are going to close. So if we are going to close above 125.55, I'm not able, and I wouldn't want to trade after hours, but something like this is what I would be looking at. So let's keep an eye on this. Looks like, yeah, I'm recording. So we have Oracle, and then we have a couple of other lesser known names as well. As this moves on, I will put some of these on my chart as well. I see KC, RBRK. Those are two that supposedly also are having their earnings right now. And there's a couple of other ones as well that we can go over, but this is the main one here on Oracle, so it makes sense to start on this one. What's up? Dick, you say Adobe has also earnings. Does it also have earnings at the moment? If so, then I'll take a look at this, of course. Let's see on the daily earnings on June 13th. So that is not for today yet, but that might become, well, someone else is going to cover these Adobe earnings, so it seems to be not today. No problem at all, Dick. No problem. It is this week indeed. You've seen that well, at least Thursday. I do want to keep up with this chart as well. But for now, let's actually put on something on the right here that also is reporting. So let's see what Casey is all about. Casey's General Store. This is also quite a neat chart, by the way. If we just look at this on a weekly time frame, I mean, this is a prime example of a stock that is just trading up and to the right. Let's dive into. I'm also looking at Oracle, meanwhile, closing the 5-minute candlestick here. My God. So this is why you have to be careful with this, of course. The moment it nukes below where it started from, right, which is here, it then typically continues very far in the other direction. So this is, let's see, wick to wick here in a couple of seconds, 10% move. So this basically goes to show why after hours, it's not something that you want to be trading, of course. So looks like everybody is going to be wicked out here. Now, if that is going to be a wick and then you get back above where this candle started from, then the impulse could be to the upside again, but this seems sketchy to say the least. And I'm definitely going to keep an eye on that. It's actually 112.78, and I have some levels below that, of course, as well, where it would become more interesting for me at these prices. Meanwhile, also want to go and check out a lower time frame here on Casey's and see if that has volatility or not. Let's see. No, I don't really see anything on Casey's at the moment, so we'll put RBRK rubric. This is something that is showing volatility, so we can elaborate on this a little bit. Firstly, let's see. This seems like something very new, apparently. Never really taken a look at this, and they supposedly have their earnings at the moment as well, but I don't really see anything here on TradingView. So we'll mainly, well, anyways, this is quite a significant move. Even if they're not having earnings here right now, Rubrik, this is still interesting. And Oracle, my God, as well, of course. This is going straight for the all-time high at this point. That is a very significant wick that basically gets out a lot of people that are in too early. So candlestick closed above, but before it's a long position, you want to see a retest, right? And so that very much overshot that, something very typical for these after hours earnings moves. My God, rubric is also just shooting off of my chart. I have to readjust my price scale here because let's see where this could be heading to. Looks like this has an all-time high where it might be heading to, not straight away maybe, but $40 is going to be an important level here for this rubric thing. Interesting. And why is this interesting? Well, I don't have a lot of price history on rubric, but if this thing breaks above $40, then I would imagine that it's actually trading to 43.56 and then to 48.55. So I'm going to keep that one on my watch list, RBRK. RBRK. And I want to have Oracle as well. Good. All right. What a move. 8-9% here on a 5-minute candlestick. Derek, you say Oracle miss. The price action still seems to be wanting to at least contend for the all-time high there. What a nice sweep, actually. Let's see the volume on this candlestick as well. So far, 160,000 shares. That's quite some money at approximately 128 or so a share. Let's see. If this thing does break higher into new all-time highs, Oracle, that could also, well, basically we have no resistance above us, so I would need to do a little bit more research to see where the levels are higher up. But as a general rule of thumb, this can continue into the 140s, 150s with ease, should it break that all-time high and hold above it. such candlesticks, you don't see such candlesticks very often, right? It's almost always going to be during a high impact news driver event, some like 10 a.m. news or something, some FOMC or an earnings move. There it goes. At this point, it would surprise me not to see that all-time high come in. So rubric also, looks like we've just broke above a couple of levels, 37.4. Let's see if this level can hold as support now. So let's mark out that swing point here. And I also want to mark out this here. And there we go for the all-time high on Oracle. As I said, it's very unlikely that. So the moment it made that huge wick and then got back above where that red candlestick basically opened, like I said, then the impulse goes to the other side again. At this point, we want to see some consolidation, maybe a higher low from here, and then stair stepping up above 132.77. So we've hit that all-time high. It's very important to see what are we going to react here at. If it wants to be bullish and already wants to make the move here after hours into way higher prices, now would be a good time to basically push through for them and to basically not allow people to enter Oracle during regular trading hours. Just at least it's still possible to enter this, of course, with Robinhood for 24/7 trading and whatever, but way less people are going to have access at the moment to actually play this, myself included. Rubric, let's see, 37.4 and 36.3 are going to be two levels where I'm now interested. So after seeing such a big green move here, what I would like to see is something like this. And I think Rubric is probably on its way to $40. Not immediately, but after making a higher low here somewhere. As long as these 5-minute candlesticks here are going to just keep pushing and closing above the previous candlestick's high, there's no real reason for this not to continue, actually. That is a very nice, significant move, but just note how they shook out a lot of people that are going to be probably going to be overexposed there long. All of them get out, and then 2 seconds later, the price is trading at all-time highs. That is pretty epic, of course. Let's see. So 37.4 here for Rubric. That would be a first candidate. What would you have entered at? I am not day trading, Angel. So I am a swing trader for equity. So I'm not trading this at all. I'm not scalping equities. That's not my my business. I'm here mainly to just see where this is going to gap up tomorrow and to play from there. But I can, of course, scalp and I can give you the ideas. Where I would have entered at here, absolutely nowhere. It's very difficult to enter here. It's almost impossible, I would say. Now, I did say a break above 125.5 and then looking for a retest, but that overshot. And then, again, tricky move. This is most certainly not easy to just get into. At this point, I do want to zoom out for a second to kind of see where this is probably heading into next. So I'm just going to look here on my daily time frame, this previous swing. Let's see, 138.8 and 146.86. So I'm going to mark out 138.8 as my next level that I think this is probably going to. And then well, we'll reassess from there, of course. But 138.8 is would be the next magnet to the price here. And Rubric, so at this point, like I said, big green move, but I would like to see a retest. So 37.4, if that's not going to hold, then 36.3 is, of course, the level to look at. And like here, the answer would be, where would you enter? Like, once again, I'm not scalping this, but I would wait for either level to be retested, which means you see a move below and then a candlestick that closes back above and holds there. So not just placing a limit order at any level here, that's very tricky and very risky. There's also an interesting move here. Immediately just smacked back down, but ultimately, if I'm zooming out of this still very much seems to be drawn into $40. So this is could be on the watch list for tomorrow as well, during the 10 to 11 a.m. trading window, which if I'm going to be I don't call that scalping, but if I'm going to enter a day trade, that was going to be between 10 and 11 a.m. And that might very well be on Rubrik, and that might very well go to $40. I also want to just put on the volume here for a moment and see what we're working with. Well, there's at least something. See, Oracle really a monster of a move. So 138.8 is probably going to be next up on the menu. Again, as long as these candlesticks are going up and closing above the high of the previous one, there's no, it's not a short position by any means. This is the last place where you would look to short. This is literally at all-time high, so I would be looking at the opposite. So finding a higher low and then moving up, just playing with the momentum, but also, of course, not entering at tops of green candlesticks. And this is already a good start here for Rubrik to kind of show strength at 37.4, but we have not closed the candlestick above it, right? So this candlestick has wicked and closed below this level. So that would have technically not been an entry. Well, you call that a fair value gap on Oracle? Well, there's multiple fair value gaps. I'll mark out some fair value gaps here for you, Angel. I know you're in going through the classes on that. This would be a fair value gap on Oracle between these two candlesticks. So from wick high to wick low, bullish fair value gap right in there. This right here is also a fair value gap at this point for Rubrik, which lines up with that previous level. So this green box, essentially, it's a fair value gap. Another fair value gap would be from here to here. So two ones that are lining up very, very closely together. So you can see that it's just constantly always forming. Awesome, man. Yeah, sure. This is a good place to ask me as well. I'm here to help. For Oracle, it would make sense to come back down and now basically maybe touch that fair value gap and do something like this. If it's not going to continue straight up, then this would be the price action to look for, where it just gives that fair value gap a kiss, gets back above 132.77. If I see price action, this is not where you enter. This is also not where you enter, but this is where I would be looking to enter. So after seeing proof and confirmation of hitting that level, getting back above here, consolidating, and then still playing the bullish momentum up. Actually, I'm going to keep that on there, just like that. See quite a lot of people in here. Of course, it's very nice, more than welcome. We'll probably be following along with this price action for another, well, 15 minutes, 20 at most, and we'll see where we get here. So I was looking at the earnings calendar. For now, these two seem to be the ones with the most interesting price action. Yeah, sometimes we have 3 or 4 charts next to each other, but at this point, I don't really see that many other interesting things. I just briefly, I'm going to pop over this sticker here. This is also something that has its earnings. Mama Creations. Let's see what this is. What this is at. So this gap down on earnings. Let's see. But in comparison to what we're just looking at, this is an incredibly illiquid and less interesting thing. So I'll basically go back to let's see, to Rubrik. Good. It'd be nice to see exactly this here basically unfold for Oracle. A red candlestick doesn't mean bearish necessarily, right? You got to contextualize. We're breaking into all-time highs. There's nothing bearish about this. Good. There's, of course, not that terribly much that I can keep saying about these charts. Maybe for Oracle, what I will do is we have 138.8. And if we do get above that level, also relevant for tomorrow, I'm going to be looking at 146.86 as a next logical level to basically get to. So let me mark that out. 146.86. And just looking to play the stair step, for example, tomorrow, like I said, between 10 and 11 a.m. We'll see where this has opened. If it pulls down between 9:30 and 10, we might see continuation there, but well, bullish continuation between 10 and 11. that is something that at least I'll be looking at tomorrow in the Discord in the premium section. So if you're not in there, I see at least most people are in there, but some new names here. Feel free to DM me if you're interested in what you're hearing and you would like to play this with me during regular trading hours. We can talk that out. Um, Again, this stream is primarily just to follow along with price action. Can never get enough of looking at candlesticks, right? Especially if there's some good volatility. Nobody likes to look at just some boring 5-minute candlesticks that basically are heading nowhere. But candlesticks like this, it's fun to follow along with that. So I'm gonna mark out this level a little bit more thick because that's that previous all-time high. Then we have that small little fair value gap below here. For a rubric, I'm thinking to myself, it would be absolutely the best if this could provide a leg down into here and then curl back up. So from 36, 32, I'm very interested to look for a long position if that happens during regular trading hours and to target into 40 and then to look for a upside continuation into all-time highs because everybody, correct me if I'm wrong, but rubric, at least on my trading view, it seems to be a rather recently listed thing actually. Which that's fine. I remember playing Reddit also recently after it was listed, and that's still doable, of course. But yeah, so from 36, 32, if I mark out the percentage move, that would be around 10%, and to this higher low is about the 3%. So I'm not working with limit orders, and this is not the position that I'm going to take. So please do not copy me, but it is going to look something a lot around those lines here, depending on the candlesticks that I see unfold. But this is the primary idea for rubric. I'm going over my earnings calendar again just to make sure that I'm definitely not missing anything. Mm, mm, mm. Looks like Pets is maybe also a ticker that, oh, I don't mean to, of course, get away from Oracle. I'll get this out. Petmet Express, what is this? Seems to be also something, like I said, that has its earnings. Even charts that I've never looked at this might become interesting, right? So Petmet looks like something with a lot of price history. So let's see. This is a ticker, right? I'm just going to place a level here at 238. I'm gonna put this on my watch list, and I'm gonna see if that ever wants to give me that. It's very simple. I'm definitely not here to play on the terms of the market, but if this chart wants to give me like something like this, maybe on bad earnings, and then a move back into like maybe not even that high, but basically to play a bounce around 240. So I'm gonna keep that level on. That's immediately like takes me 1 second to look at a chart and to determine the level that I want to play from. So this level is going to be one of my picks. C crossing down. And how are we approaching that here on a 5-minute time frame after hours? Extended trading looks very illiquid, but had a nice gap down. So 238 is a level where yeah, there's not much to say on this sticker, rather than if it comes down lower from 238, I'll look to play it back to where it's currently trading at. It's very simple. Good. I saw someone on YouTube asking me what is the time frame for Oracle to go to 146. The answer to that is that absolutely nobody can tell you. That can take days, that can take hours, that can take as long as it needs to. So nobody can give you a timing on the market, but just already knowing which level to look at is very helpful in and of itself. So let me just go back to Rubric here after doing this quick intermezzo on PetMed. Like, and it doesn't matter to me. I don't know what that company is, what they do. Completely not interested. But that level there at 238 looks like a juicy one to play from. So I want to be aware of that. Typically, just use these earnings, to be honest, to give me an idea of some tickers to put on my watch list. I look at them, I give them some alerts, and if that wants to come to me during regular trading hours, I'm more than willing to then play from that. Good. And now already kind of what we see here every single week. So I see a lot of people joining in. That's nice. But typically you want to be here right at the bell at the closing for these earnings events, because the most amount of volatility and basically the most fun price action to follow along with is going to be first, let's say 10, 15 minutes after the closing bell. That's what we always see on these earnings move, big volume coming in straight off the bat, and then that dying down later on the line. And then sometimes later tonight, you will see another move, but typically this is already it for the night, essentially. They make a big move and then typically just consolidate it a little bit. That is also why it's not very optimal to enter trades here, is because it's unlikely to now head way further. Like it makes a first good move, like I said, then typically consolidates and chops around a little bit until it then opens next day. And tomorrow, it's of course important to have your thesis, your levels to play from. So my thesis and my levels are going to be all looking for long positions, but that doesn't mean that price can go down, right? So for example, on that PetMed thing, I think price was trading at 4. I will be bullish at $2.40, right? And if that doesn't come to me over the next couple of days or weeks, then I simply will never look at that chart, because then it's not going to give me that alert, right? At some point, you build up a watch list, you have plenty of alerts on plenty of tickers, and I'm in no rush to play anything in particular. I'm just using alerts to my advantage to basically tell me when it's time to act or to look at my confirmations, which obviously I'm teaching that in the premium section, in the coaching section. Again, if anybody here is not already in that, do feel free to DM me, and I can give some more explanation about what that entails. But that already would come with 12 classes, so 12 recorded sessions, which that's already worth it in and of itself, if you ask me. No, don't want this to be a shameless plug about my coaching though. So we'll keep it we'll keep us focused on the tickers at hand for another 5 minutes or so, 5-10 minutes max. Good. So I see the man Bookies himself is also joining up. What's up, man? I hope you're recovering well. Good. So, I mean, for now, the job is almost already done. Just going over tickers, just placing alerts, making a plan. My ears are here. Awesome, man. How goes it? Good. Things are going well. Specifically, also was looking at Robinhood. Obviously, this is not something that that now has its earnings, but just for the people that are maybe in here, I'm not just suggesting jump in that right now, but I would suggest, like once again, give the premium section check that out, or refer to me on Twitter, where myself and What the Duck, MetaMat, we're posting watch list and a $500 account follow along, which Robinhood is one of the positions which we have entered a couple of weeks ago, and which is doing pretty well, right? This is one of the strongest tickers, at least in my opinion, right now in this market. And just to prove that point, why I think this is strong, right? I don't mean to revert from the earnings, but if I'm looking at this chart, Robinhood, most people look at how Robinhood is looking against the dollar, right? And they say, well, Robinhood is worth $23, but I'm looking, for example, at a comparison between, well, how Robinhood is doing against the SPY. So it's very much just been outperforming, in fact. Now I will revert back to Rubric, RBRK for the earnings, but the reason why I was moving along a little bit is because I basically don't expect a lot of price action from here. So it always gives that initial move. At this point, I expect it to basically just consolidate here a little bit and to just chop around. But these levels, right, that I've just basically called out for Oracle and these pullbacks, and for example, on Rubrik, that 36.3, these are very much levels which will still be relevant tomorrow. So I am personally going to keep all of that on my chart. That is also a primary purpose of these earnings, simply so that you can have your levels in your plan already for them when the actual trading window opens up during regular trading hours. So if I see, for example, tomorrow between 10 and 11 a.m. that price gives me exactly this squiggly line scenario, I'm going to be all on top over that. If not, that's fine, of course, as well. Let's see. Some people in the chat. I hope you found some good soups. Yeah. Duco is out. Talking about the soup game. Anyways, what I plan to do here. So it's been half an hour after the open. Followed along with price action and then basically gave out some levels and some ideas for the coming days. And again, tomorrow I'm going to be live here at market open, from market open into 10:30 a.m. And so definitely feel free to come join along with that in the premium section. But for now, I'm definitely going to just end the StreamYard here already. That's all I have for the earnings. And of course, Tyler there in the YouTube chat, you're welcome for the answer. If anything, make sure to come jump in the Discord as well and hang out with everybody here as well. So the link should be in the YouTube description here. So I hope to see you here with us soon.